This is Warrior Kaylana with Over the Bar. Today we are reviewing Starship Simulator.
Starship, yes, because, she's always going on and on about, Star Trek and, space and all of this, stuff. And I was watching this the other day and I thought, if you're into that sort of thing, then this looks like a game that someone would really enjoy. If you like giving the commands and going through the whole scenario, looks pretty cool. Well, I thought so. I'm not.
Well, that's one of my big beefs with the Star Trek games that are currently out. Well, I haven't tried Star Trek Bridge Crew because I don't have a VR system. But the other ones like Star Trek Online, you don't get to sit in the captain's chair and give the orders or do the things.
Well, you gotta earn captain.
You simmer down. I already have the rank of Vice Admiral.
Okay,
All right, here we go.
Simulator. My name's Dan Gruvia, and I'm the developer behind the project. Now I imagine quite a few of you might be thinking, does the space sim genre really need another new title? Won't this just end up being another clone of what's already out there, or a simple rehashing of existing ideas? Well, hopefully by the end of this video you'll agree that we do have something unique to bring to the table, which a lot of space sim fans, myself included, have been wanting for a very long time. Put simply, Starship Simulator is my answer to one simple question. What would I do if someone handed me the keys to a real, fully working starship?
See,
Without any hesitation, I would just pick a random star in the sky and then fly off to explore its mysteries. And then along the way, I'd be nosing around every inch of my new vessel to learn exactly how it all works. And that really sums up what this game is all about at face value. You've got a fully working starship, a whole galaxy to explore, and the freedom to fly anywhere you want, just to see what's out there.
Looks amazing though, eh?
But if we dig deeper, there is of course a whole lot more going on under the hood.
Even the style of the ship was very Star Trek.
Growing up, I really wanted to be an architect, and despite ending up working in IT, that interest in architecture never really went away. So when it came to designing and building a starship, I really wanted to design and build a starship. Now in a typical video game environment, there's generally nothing
They
going on.
even have a Star Trek-esque bridge.
It's actually just smoke and mirrors to sell the illusion of a real solid
Even the
location.
consoles.
But that's absolutely not the case here. Delve behind any wall panel and you'll find the ship's genuine structural framework, all designed in CAD software right down to the individual bolts and weld lines. You'll also find miles of pipes, cables and conduits that are all fully simulated and critical to the function of the ship's systems. For example, turning off these breakers will kill power to the bridge, causing the lights and consoles to genuinely stop receiving the simulated electrical current from their attached cables. If you pay attention to the readout when the breakers are turned back on, you can see the electrical draw increases as expected. This means the location where your ship takes damage naturally becomes really important, because that could make the difference between losing a few lights or losing your entire FTL drive.
Can we just notice how he had a Star Trek uniform on his guy?
Yeah, well,
And the-
you know what I mean? Like,
and the
probably
logo
for
on the door.
aesthetics.
And the logo on the door is very much like the Federation of Planets logo.
Well, the point he's trying to get at, though, is because he was an engineer, he designed, like, the ship, this starship or whatever, everything that's on there has a complete...
And what is this for?
This is a simulator.
Yeah. For what platform?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Like, listen.
As you can imagine, if you're playing as an engineer, you'll certainly have a lot to be getting on with. But we intend for every role aboard the ship to be approached with the same amount of depth and attention to detail. Speaking of jobs to do, we're planning to include 8 basic roles to begin with, from the captain to a simple passenger who's merely tagging along for the ride. Each department aboard the ship will have a rolling task list, and both players and the NPC crew alike will work through those tasks to keep the ship up and running smoothly. The tasks themselves won't be arbitrary, they'll be generated on the fly depending on the ship's actual needs. Taking engineering as an example again, if a component is damaged, then a task will be generated for that specific component to be investigated. A player or an NPC then picks up that task on a first-come, first-served basis and then works to resolve the issue. Don't worry if you have no interest in engineering though. The NPC crew members will actually be fully capable of running any of the ship's departments entirely on their own. If you just want to be a pilot, or you just want to sit in command, don't need to worry about what's happening outside of your chosen role. In fact, and I happen to think this is really cool, if you choose to play as a passenger, then you actually won't have any jobs to do at all. Instead, an NPC captain will take control of the ship. There could be a massive firefight happening right outside the window, while you're just sat there in the bar sipping your favourite space beverage. You could just be like, it's not my problem, crew can deal with it.
Not my problem. Let's see how he
The
makes
NPC
this.
crew members also play a big part in making the ship feel more lived in, with each of them having their own lives aboard the ship. They'll have their own crew quarters, their own shift patterns, they'll eat, drink, and even use the bathroom if they need to. You won't need to worry about micromanaging them, though. They'll just have to get on with it without the player having to get involved. We're hoping players will form a strong attachment to their new home among the stars, so we're including many customization options right out of the box. You can customize your ship's name and registry number, and this updating...
Like, you know what I mean? Like, right there, customize. I can just see you customizing the shit right out of that.
Yeah, like, and did you see the floor? It literally had like almost like the Federation of Planets logo. Like I would have that so customized, like a Starfleet bridge.
Like, but you
Starfleet
notice
crew.
he's using like, he sounds like he's from Britain, so he's using Her Majesty's, the HMS.
Yeah.
Her Majesty's service. You know, so that, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty cool, and you know, you can name your ship whatever you want, and I think, you know, like, even I, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not as much of a Trekkie as you, but I think this would be cool. Like, you know, to be able to sit in that captain's chair and make all the decisions, you know,
Well, that's exactly what games have been missing.
what planet you go to, how you carry, you know, and the computer's going to throw shit at you, and you know, different fucking scenarios, and you're going to have to sit there, and you know, you're the guy in charge. You know, people are going to be looking to you to like, hey, well, you want to do this, or if you're the engineer, like he was showing there, like you could be the head engineer, like Scotty, and Captain's, you know, yelling down, Scotty,
No.
you know, I need warp drive, and I need it now.
Now, if you want to be a miracle worker as an engineer, you always need to exaggerate the time frame. So when you get it done sooner than the time given, you look like a miracle worker.
I lost. All right, on with the tour.
We are at 7 minutes.
Is that too many?
We can only go up to 10 minutes for TikTok.
All right. Well, then we'll shut her down here, and we'll go part 2. Or, as the French would say, part 2.
Yeah, before we sign off, feel free to check out Warrior Kaylana as well on TikTok, as well as Over the Bar's TikTok, known as Big Sexy's Garage. And there's also his YouTube profile as well, with lots of great playlists, include like for different music for partying. Like there's 50s and 60s playlists. And
Oh yeah, lots of, like, it's a mixture of, you know, of everything on there. Like, I'm sure you'll find something, you know, well, maybe not. There's no opera. Don't get it twisted. You know,
You're not
no
gonna bust out an opera?
Classical. What?
You're not gonna bust out an opera on me?
No, you know, as operas it goes Queen. That's it. Two, I just wanted to mention, over the weekend, Big Sexy was out of town. And he was over in Quebec there, playing darts at the Legion in Temiskaming. And it was a great affair. Me and Mrs. Sexy, she was on a different team. Big Sexy's team, number 1, came in first. That Legion will never forget me. Mrs. Sexy, she came in number 2. We came, we saw, we pillaged, and we're home. Keeping it sexy. All right, see you on part 2.